How many of you heard of Ice Cube? How many of you have heard of Tupac? How many of you ever heard of Death Row Records? Master P's or Cash Money? Okay, what we're talking about is some of the generators of this music. Some of those who had the audacity to come up with this new sound and with lyrics that a whole lot of people felt uncomfortable with. Oftentimes people weren't listening to the lyrics. Oftentimes they were rapping about the conditions of our communities, about the police and police abuse, and on and on and on. Now I know that some of us didn't like the way they talked about it, because remember what Ice Cube said. What did he say? Don't say it. Words start with F? The police, okay? However, this music has taken hold. And so out of this we have a lot of talented people, a lot of talented artists, but a lot of people miss what they have done for the economy. Not only did we have talent, and we had people who were producing and selling this music, then the more they grew, they had to have lawyers. They had to have accountants. They had to have publicity people, and on and on and on. And many of them who started in one fashion with rap have evolved, and they're doing all kind of other music. Remember what Queen Latifah was like when she first started? Now she's singing jazz and other kinds of genres. So here we are today, and we have young artists and new artists, and artists and producers who have come at this even in a different way, oftentimes a more profound way, interested in knowing about politics and singing about it and acting on it. And even some of the sounds are very different. This talent is absolutely precious, and it will continue. It will continue to grow. We will continue to see the talents of our young people, and we will appreciate it more than some of the older folks who first came in contact with it and it scared them to death. And so having said that, we're going to get started with our panel today. But before we get started with talking about what they are doing and how they do it and all of that, I want to hear a little sound. Go get it. All right, let's go.
One, two. Mike's going in and out. So we gonna get it right.
All right, go. RAtheMC, can you do a little something for us?
I can do a little something. Some of my stuff is a bit risque, but
that's okay. They've heard it before.
All right. I say, black girl, black fist. Bet I pull up in the all-black whip. I'm pro-black. That don't mean that I'm anti-white. So don't come around talking that. They be like, hands up, put your hands down. Get cuffed and this man down. Who the man now? Shoot, I don't want a handout, but I might need if the bell don't pan out. They be like, you're too light or you're too dark. Too nice or you're too pop. It's alright when you're too wrong. Say prayer and you move on, but don't think about it too long. On this mic I give my all, yeah. But this life I won't give y'all. You get shot down, you stand too tall. You took the leap when he took the fall. Thank you guys.
Alright, I need a beat because we got a young man that's feeling it. And he's supposed to do a little something for us.
Alright.
Okay? Check. Stan, start us off. Stan Robinson, talk with us.
Sure. Peace, everybody. Appreciate y'all for coming out. So, I grew up in Prince George's County, Maryland. Yes, sir. And so, I've been making music professionally since about 1999. I started out writing just about what I would see. But then also, you know, where I came from, we do a lot of joke. We crack jokes on each other, which later turned into battling. So I spent a lot of time battling both in the DC area, going to New York, making a name for myself up there before I finally signed my first record contract. I've traveled, I've been blessed enough where like places I learned about in school, like this music, like took me to so many places that I never thought I was going to make it. And I'm just blessed that I was able to use this thing that so many people tried to encourage me to give up on, told me that I had to grow up and do something else. And so now I look at like the first home I ever purchased for my family. I used it, like I wouldn't have been able to do that without this music. But besides that, the work I also do in the community, I've been doing youth work for as long as I've been making music professionally. So I work at a middle school called Oxon Hill Middle School out in Prince George's County, where I'm a student advocate there. And so there are a lot of periods of time where, Mr. Robinson, where you go? We thought you quit. It's like, nah, I was on tour. And you came back? Yep. And so no matter what I do, you know, it's very important to me that I'm always back in the community that gave me so much. And you know, it had its hardships as well, but I survived it, and so I come back, I talk to these little black boys and girls, and some of my brown, and you know, and everybody, whoever's willing to listen, who experienced a lot of the same things that I experienced, and so I'm just happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, that's great. Mostly positive, real, strong, essential, influential. It represents the music you make. The bar was set high from the onset. Isn't that wonderful? Another round of applause. We're going to talk a little bit more about backgrounds, but right now I am just so happy to have a girl MC with us today. We've had these panels oftentimes without that, but here today we have RAtheMC. I'll give them a little bit. Today there's a lot of talk in the hip-hop world about the state of hip-hop. People from the golden era, late 80s to early 90s, often feel that modern hip-hop culture lacks the value and soul it once had, and accounts that to significant differences in cultural and societal values between the generations. Others think things couldn't be any better than they currently are. They are absolutely satisfied with the music they hear. They have it as it is. I'm not going to go into it more. You tell us.
Yeah.
What is it?
For me, I think it's generational. You know, it was different when I was growing up in hip hop. There was a purpose, there was a message, and it wasn't so much fun, but they had a little fun. And now I think it's kind of changed over to a place where mainstream music is just, it's a lot of partying, and we're not speaking to the social issues as much as we used to in mainstream. But what me and Substantial were talking about earlier, there are so many indie artists out and so many indie movements of people with content, with purpose, who actually have a message, and they're not hard to find. So now radio is not the only place you have to run to get your favorite artists. You have the internet, which is, I think, way, way more powerful. And it's opened up doors even for female MCs you don't hear, and you didn't hear over the past few years before Nicki Minaj. You didn't hear us at all, you know, on the radio. And now, you know, we're coming by the dozens. So I think we're in a good place in music right now because you have the power to take your career into your own hands and kind of have that creative control where a lot of the artists back in the day didn't have that. So.
Wow, that's good. Give her a big round of applause. Bomani Armah. Can I give a little of your AKAs?
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Okay, all right. Let me, he's got a lot of AKAs, okay? AKA Demite, AKA the hip-hop LeVar Burton, AKA Mr. Read a Book, AKA the Watermelon Man, AKA Darius Love Hall, AKA the Black Colin Powell. Has even more artistic skills than aliases. As a poet, he takes his cues from his favorite writers like Langston Hughes, Yusef Komanke, and E. Ethelbert Miller. tell us who you are.
Sure. Most importantly, I'll introduce the hip-hop LeVar Burton character. Anybody know who LeVar Burton is?
Yeah.
The old people know. For the young people, very iconic actor. He did 3 important roles. He was Kunta Kinte in Roots. He was the host of the Reading Rainbow, and he's Geordie LaForge. The past, the future, reading. All right. So here we go. Hola, amigo, como esta? Rap last name Burton, first one is LeVar. Like Geordie LaForge, you work for Captain Picard. Travel to the future faster than the light from the star. If you don't know your roots, you won't know who you are. So I traveled to a time before they brought us from afar. To when reading a book meant breaking the law. Like slaves, you sugar cane, man, you eating it raw. Have you chewing on the truth till it's breaking your jaw. Till you get the picture, I'll continue to draw connections from the past. Help you see what they saw from your great-great-grandma's great-grandma. I know you might think this brother is odd, that the mission he's on is just way too hard, but I'm swearing to God, I don't need your applause. I don't need you on my team, man. I'm raising the squad. Thank you very much.
All right, okay. How'd you get into all of this?
How did I get into all this? Well, I mean, I went to University of Maryland as an education major, and one of my frat brother's moms asked me why I wanted to teach, and I said, I want to teach black kids real black history. She said, oh, that's cute. You won't be able to do that. They'll have a curriculum for you. So then I was like, all right, well, my other option is I want to be an artist. So I quit and went to be a full-time artist. Being a conscious rapper sometimes is hard paying the bills. I had like one really, really big hit that actually paid my bills for like 3 years. Other than that, it's been banging down doors, so I've found a new career. I make rap songs with kids for a living. I live in Maryland, I work in DC. Maryland always has one of the top educational systems in the country, and they have a whole bunch of organizations that spend a lot of time putting arts back into the community. And back into the school, and that's what I do all day. So, as a matter of fact, if y'all interested, go to my website, www.notarapper.com. I have a new curriculum called BARS, the Bomani Armah writing system. And what I do is I teach teachers and I teach young people how to write using hip-hop as the model. Because a well-written essay resembles a well-written song. A chorus is like the main idea in the introductory paragraph. The verses are like the supporting paragraphs. Alright, and so I trick kids into writing, don't listen kids, I trick kids into writing essays and then writing rap songs. And I make a living off of it. So if you ever see me and I'm not smiling, remind me that I make rap songs with kids for a living, alright? And I love doing it, and you know, as time goes on,
We don't know what you're talking about. We have to hear it.
you have to hear it. Okay, so let's do this. Make it real simple. So you guys know what call and response is? Yeah. Real basic element in hip-hop. Because the idea of hip-hop was giving young people a voice who did not have a voice. That's what graffiti is about. That's what breakdancing is about. We didn't have music classes, but we had our parents' records, and so we made new music out of our parents' records. So call and response is when someone on the stage says something, and the audience says something back. It's rooted in Jamaican toasting. So let's try this. So when I say, let me see what I'm gonna say. You want point bow? Say, no, I'm gonna give you an easy one. Give me an easy one. One you should know before you go to the club. All the ugly people be quiet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all should know that one. All the ugly people be quiet. Alright, cool. So before you go to the club, you gotta know that one, right? But one of the things I did, using call and response, I come up with these songs that help kids remember really basic concepts. So this first one I'm gonna do, when I point at you, this is what I want you to say, okay? I'm gonna say my rap verse first, when I'm gonna point at you, you understand it. These are the 3 rules of being a good creative writer, okay? Now I need the beat in my head so I can remember it. Can I get a beat, Substantial? Can you beatbox for me?
I got it.
Yeah. Check it. Creating something new can be stressful. Having the right attitude can help you be successful. Edison's attitude helps him not go berserk. I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work. So don't worry that the word, phrase, or sentence isn't right. Every idea you put out there can spark another life. This is the rough draft nobody sees. Writers don't make mistakes, we make discoveries. 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 So that's the kind of stuff I do with my kids all the time in class, all right? And so, if you are interested, shameless self-plug, because I know you have some educators in the room, my job is teaching teachers how to make their curriculum hip-hop friendly. I'm teaching a class at the Kennedy Center on October 26th. If you were interested, contact me, whatever you're working on. I've had students write songs, everything from what's alphabetical order, to where to put a decimal place, to the history of the Civil War. And they end up writing essays in these full songs without realizing it. My job is putting medicine in the sweet potatoes, if you understand what I'm saying. And so if you're interested, definitely hit me up. And thank you very much, Maxine Waters, for giving me this opportunity.
All right, well, thank you very much. Give him a big round of applause.
It's been a long time since we supported this, and we are so happy to be here. I was here last year with the wonderful, talented kids, and also we had a great panel last year. So I just wanted to give you guys a few words. So my name is Rebecca Roussel, and I'm also young, gifted, and Black. So just like so many of you all in the audience, I embrace it and I own it. I work at Nielsen, which is a global company that measures what consumers watch and what they buy and what they also listen to in 100 countries around the world. And at Nielsen, I know some pretty fascinating things about Black consumers. So Black consumers, that's you and that's me. We feel like young Black millennials is such an important group, so much so that in the coming weeks we will release a comprehensive report just about Black millennials. So it wasn't released this week, but we will be releasing it. So I wanted to share a few of those insights with you guys today. So we know that 55%, that's more than half of the Black millennials in the United States, say that they spend an hour or more or daily on social media network sites. 62% of Black millennials agree that they feel really good about seeing celebrities in the media that share their ethnic background. And also, from 2012 to 2016, the number of urban contemporary stations increased 23%. So what does that mean? There are more stations playing hip-hop, expanding the music even further to broader listeners. So Rod talked about hip-hop and how it's really spreading on the internet, but also there's been an increase in hip-hop listenership. Why do you think that? Because hip-hop is bringing dollars, and so people are seeing that, and so more radio stations are coming up across the country. But social media has really changed perception about our community for good. Hashtags have become picket signs. Peaceful protests have organized all over this country because of social media. And the dialogue has made it all to the White House and is currently on this year's campaign trail. It is my job to make sure that businesses understand the power of the movements like Black Lives Matter, like Oscar So White, like Bank Black, and so many others that we've started. It's important to recognize how social media has galvanized these conversations and has made others take notice. So being young, gifted, and Black did that. So continue to use social media, your smartphones, your tablets, the internet to make your voices heard. The struggle is worth it. People are listening, and we at Nielsen are listening. So thank you so much and have a great day today.
You enjoy something, you just clap. But then I discovered when you're there, you got to do a lot of stuff. And so I guess I was the only one out of place. But I liked it. I enjoyed it. So I'm looking at our audience today, and it is diverse. We have Latinos, we have Asians, we have African Americans, we have whites. We've got everybody that's into this music. What you guys have done is you have broadened the participation in music in general, rap in particular, across the world. Give them a big round of applause. And so we saw a young man who came up and shared with us his talent. You see all that movement he had? Was he good? Yeah. Give him a big round of applause. What's your name?
Solid.
Solid?
Solid.
Solid. This is Solid. Give Solid a big round of applause. Now, it's going down, and surprisingly, while they tell us that the police are interested in providing safety and security for us, and that they're there to be supportive of our communities, they didn't want to hear a thing he had to say. And so, Rhymefest, will you tell us, what was that all about?
Well, yeah, first I'll tell you a little bit about who I am.
have co-written some songs that you may have heard. Anybody heard the song called Click by Kanye? Yeah. Okay, I wrote Kanye's rap for that. Anybody ever heard a song called Jesus Walks? Yeah. I got a Grammy for writing that song. Anybody ever heard a song called Glory with John Legend and Caucus? I wrote half that song and received the Oscar for that song. But moreover than writing these songs, what I teach, because we have a program called Donda's House, because I was mentored by Kanye's mom. I was trained by his mom growing up, Dr. Donda West. And I was taught not to make it to escape it. You don't make it with your talent to lead a hood. You make it so you come back and you can rebuild your community. So I live on the south side of Chicago in the community that I grew up in. Because it is important that as you become successful, as Substantial was saying, as Raw was saying, the things that you do, Mr. Burton, number two, it's important that another young person who's coming up and doing art can walk out the door and see you. Because then they know that it's tangible. My Grammys and stuff is all broken up from letting people touch on them and know that this is just an object. This ain't nothing. You can have this. And so, you know, Chicago, as we know, is a very volatile place right now. And I was robbed. I was writing some rhymes in my car. I had my car parked, door unlocked, 8 o'clock in the morning. Somebody sat in my car and put a gun in my head and said, "You're gonna die today." And then I said, "Man, you know, what do you want?" He said, "I want the money, give me the money." Now, must not have been a good robber, because I gave him my wallet and he went away. People don't, just for anybody that wants to rob, people don't have money in their wallets no more. It's not good. So I go to the police station, because I'm like, I'm gonna report this just in case this guy hurt somebody that day. There's a description of who's in what area. And the police were, at that point, when I walked in, they eating snacks, playing Candy Crush video games. And I said, look, I want to make a report. Now, these are black folk, but sometimes we think about police, and we don't think it's police as part of our community. But these are your cousins, your aunties, your neighbors. These are black folk, and sometimes with us, with familiarity, there's contempt. We think we know each other so good that it don't matter no more. And we have to not treat each other with the same disdain as the rest of society treats us. So I go into the police station, I want to make a report. They keep playing video games and eating cookies. And I said, really? You know, because I don't go around wearing who I am on my sleeve. And I go to another officer. She sits back and looks at me and says, okay, so what's going on? I start to tell her. She said, well, you still got your phone. You must not have been that good of a robber. I said, wait a minute. I said, you know, she's playing Candy Crush, eating cookies. You're patronizing me. I want to make my report with your sergeant. Let me talk to the sergeant, because you're not even taking a report. So lo and behold, so she gets loud. Don't worry about what she's doing. Sometimes in our communities, it's not even about policing. We just have bad service, bad professionalism when it comes to dealing with each other. And this was a case, I don't believe, of racial profiling. It was a case of professionalism that we should expect from our public servants. So I say, I need to see the sergeant now. Lo and behold, the sergeant standing in the back of the room. He's watching the whole time. He says, you know what? Since you want to get loud with my officers, ain't no report for you today. Get the F out. No police report. So at that point, this is why I want to talk today about artistry, but also about who we are. We are the employers of the police. We are the employers of our politicians. We have to act like employers. The more you come in from a subjective position, from a why y'all oppressing me position, that's the more they're going to kick you in your face. You have to act as though you are the employer and you need to get the company back on track. So I turned on that camera and I said, I'm going to get a report today. And when we live streamed that, it went to CNN, it went to the BBC, it went everywhere. They knew about 3 minutes later who they were dealing with. And I got my police report, but not only did we get that, we got an apology from the superintendent. We got the mayor to get on TV and apologize. But foremost, yeah, okay, I'm this artist that got these Oscars and these Grammys, so you apologize. But what we did was make it into a bigger issue. and say, what about John Smith and James Smith and all those other people that came in and were told they couldn't make a police report? How do we get justice for them? So what we're working on right now in Chicago is a South African style Truth and Reconciliation Committee, because what I realize about police is that geographically, depending on where you at, they got PTSD, they shell shocked, they walking around needing therapy just as much as we need therapy. So what we're working on is a citywide therapy session in Chicago where we can bring all of our community members to the table to tell their story and get the therapeutic psychological help that they need. What we don't understand sometimes about police is that they stuck in between the mayor's office and the Fraternal Order of Police, the union. And these are our uncles and aunties out here on the street. My grandfather was in Vietnam. If he didn't take his medicine, he'd be running up the street with his gun naked. There are a lot of police officers that have that same mental psychosis that my grandfather had from that conflict zone, because many of our communities are conflict zones, and we're caught between the robbers and the police. You don't know who the cop or the robber is sometimes. And so I have empathy for that person who robbed me, because that person is in a community that was divested from for decades. That person who robbed me made a decision that this is how they were going to eat this morning. And I have sympathy for the police, because once I made the report, the sister told me, you know, sometimes we just desensitize. I don't know what's wrong. So we're stuck, we, the community, are stuck between a rock or a cop and a hard place. You know, and so as artists, right, this is why I appreciate everything you all are doing, and thank you, Congresswoman Waters. I appreciate Reverend Jackson just came up and said something very profound. He said, we can sing, we can dance, but if we do not turn that singing and dancing into political action, then it is for nothing. You know, I'll tell you, music, and this is a reality of the industry, music does not sell. You are not going to make money off selling music. But what does sell, the opportunity, is products. So for instance, I work with Kanye. Kanye ain't selling you music. Kanye's selling you Yeezys. So everybody that go out and buy some of them Adidas and them Yeezys and Kanye clothes, that's how Kanye makes his money. When we did Glory, we were not selling the song, we were selling the film, Selma. So Glory pushes Selma, Selma pushes Glory. As an artist, as a dancer, find a brand, find a product. If it's yours, if it's somebody else's, connect yourself to that product. Sell the brand, sell the product. The music is merely the commercial. So for me, the product that I'm selling is community redevelopment, political reconstruction, and therapeutic healing. So for example, everybody else rap, y'all don't mind if I spit rap. So let's build a school. Let's build our own schools. ADD is a myth. They teaching kids to lose. Let's build a school. Let's build our own schools. ADD is a myth. They teaching kids to lose. Only electing the leaders, they only want the elitists to lead us. Skip McDonald's, I would never let a clown feed us. Let's build a temple, synagogue, a mosque, pray in every direction and see if it get to God. You sold your way to the top and didn't get the job. She kept clicking her heels, couldn't get out her eyes. When your house ain't yours, but you got a nice car, that's how I know that you poor. That's right. When you love outdoors and you scream white power, that's how I know that you poor. Why are we at war? They putting poison in the water, fracking under the floor. Bilderbergs, Rothschilds, Koch brothers, and more. Got you distracted from the things worth fighting for. Those are the type of raps that I write, because I believe that. I believe that if the people who voted for Trump knew how much they have in common with the people who voted for Obama, we would all get together and have a new presidential candidate that represented the poor people, that represent we are using language and coming into meetings. When I met with the mayor of Chicago, and I'm gonna tell you about the mayor of Chicago. Chicago is exactly what America will look like if you elect Trump. Because Rahm Emanuel ain't no different from Donald Trump. Don't think think because you're dealing with a neoliberal that you're dealing with something different from a hardcore conservative. They're the same things when they're selling out to dark money. So when I meet with the mayor, what I see is not somebody who is oppressing me. I see my employee. And I'm telling my employee, this is what we got to do to get the company back on track. We have to stop meeting with our elected officials from subjugated positions and positions where we believe that they can have power to oppress us. When you look, the Reverend told me something about the March on Selma. He told me there were only about 350 to 400 people the first time they went. That wasn't a lot of people, but that was enough people to change the world. Revolutionary movements have never taken everybody, but just a few people. There are enough people in this room right now to change this country, if these people are dedicated. The Reverend talked to me. I mean, he has been a mentor to me. Congresswoman Waters has been a mentor to me. There's nothing wrong with an intergenerational movement, listening to our elders and then pivoting. We are not to repeat what they did, but to pivot from what they've done. And so, when you look at the Black Panthers, when you look at the SCLC, when you look at Cuba, Che Guevara, and Castro, there was only 21 people that landed on that island before they took it over. All I'm saying is that once we stop thinking of ourselves as the subjugated and start to think of ourselves as the ones that are in power, then Congresswoman Waters will have backup when she goes in to fight for bills that fight for communities. If this doesn't happen, then they have to get the money from people that don't have your best interest. The one thing that I would encourage before I'm going to give it up, but I would encourage, let's stop talking also, and black people, you know, we gave a lot of money to Bernie Sanders, $10, $25, $30. Just keep giving that money, but give that money to Congresswoman Armah. Give that money to your local alderman. Give that money to your local state rep. If you do not start donating with your pocketbook, your voice will not be heard. It is more than preaching, it is more than marching, it is more than saying your life matters. You can keep saying your life and Black Lives Matter all you want, but all I'm saying, I agree with that, but I would also say you gotta start acting like it.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful words. Powerful words. I want to tell you, if I was a rap artist, I'd have one called Dump Trump.
Maxine, want me to do something? I'm gonna do something.
All right.
I say place your bets, go on invest, or talk a little bit and get it off your chest. Am I so worse than all the rest, or am I so different that you won't listen? If curiosity killed the cat, then I guess ambition killed the kitten. And killed your dream in the bird scene, so you settle for a benefit and pension. Did I mention, on my mission, I got a couple horses with no henchmen. That mean I got dry, but they ain't dripping. Like I'm in the Olympics. I ain't slipping, and I spit fat. Mixing. I'm sorry, y'all. It went out again. I tried.
All right, that was good. Now listen at this. I introduced you just briefly to Congresswoman Gwen Moore, who came in. But before I ask her to say a little something, we got a preacher in the room. We got a pastor in the room. And I want you to know that this is a pastor who every week in the Congress of the United States, he comes before the Democratic Caucus and he gives us a lesson for life. You know, and he uses sometimes parables from the Bible. Sometimes I think he just makes this stuff up. But whatever. It's great and it's good, and so he's a very close friend of mine, and I have a tendency sometimes to use words I shouldn't use. And so when I realize I'm standing next to him, I said, lay hands on me, preacher. As I used to teach us in church, lay hands on me. Congressman Cleaver, come on up here and say something. Hold on, Reverend, I want you to. Thank you for coming by.
What else you want me to do? I thank you for doing this, because I'm sitting here listening to you, articulate probably as clear a message about this generation as I have heard. I mean, it is clear, and we need you because sometimes the messages we give are not able to get through. And so thank you for what you're doing. Continue to do it. I'm working on it.
Please come over. Gwen Moore from Wisconsin, who is serving on the Financial Services Committee, a lively, friendly woman. This is a woman with not a lot of inhibition. She says what she thinks. She acts the way she thinks. Say hello to Gwen Moore. You know what? I might try. Read a poem? All right, I just pulled one up, the first thing that came up. Hands up, I can't breathe, don't shoot. You say I'm too ambitious, I shouldn't expect too much. Perhaps I'm just superstitious to believe in luck and stuff. You win, I give up, and I throw my hands up. If I don't go for it, I won't win. Speculation about my success moot, because there are stars out there for sure. I won't stress, give me some space. I've got my hands out, let me breathe. I'm waiting to excel, and no matter what, I can't fall as long as I'm dancing to my tune. Just do me a favor, don't shoot. Brings back memories of Michael Brown. Right. And the reason that I read that, actually, is because we have Maria Hamilton in the room here. Maria, will you stand up? She's the mother of Dontre Hamilton from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. She's one of the mothers of the movement. Famous club that nobody else wants to be a part of. Son shot 14 times after sleeping on the ground in a public park. Wow. Thank you, and thank you for coming today. We're so sorry, but we're working to try and keep these kind of things from happening. So thank you for being here and sharing this moment with all of us. All right, who would like to tell me a little something about how difficult it is to be in your world, doing what you do, and how do you transcend that difficulty? How do you do that?
So, I'll make a recommendation. In your free time, there's a documentary that was made not too long ago called Adult Rappers, right? And it's a great film, but it's really hard. It's a really hard watch when you've been doing it as long as I have, because there's a lot of parts of this business that are, it's not the greatest. I don't enjoy being away from my family for long periods of time. Like, I don't. When I finished the last show, I shut down. Like, I really get distant from everybody I'm on tour with. I just want to get home to my dog. I just want to get home to my wife. And so I basically have made it my business over the years to figure out how to develop different ways to create more passive income. Basically money that's being made without me actually working, money that's being made while I'm sleeping. And so there are a lot of different ways I've discovered to do that so I can be home more. Because there are a lot of successful artists who don't have the best family situations. And I have no interest in celebrity. I just want to provide for my family using the skills that I have. And so, how I manage over right now to be here with y'all. And so, and the next thing you know, like after going in there, kicking a verse, doing whatever, talking about tours and stuff, I would get invited back. And then the next thing you know, I'm developing like hip hop curriculum, building studios for like Covenant House, Washington, and doing the other side of it. I also work at Omega School out in Montgomery County as well, teaching social media marketing and different things like that to young artists. And so those were the ways to find other income related to my skill, the very thing that I started doing when I was 10 years old, to provide for my family and still be close. I do enjoy the travel. I try to take my family with me when I can, but it is very challenging. So how I manage, like I said, how I manage to overcome is definitely creating like different revenue sources or whatever, so that way I can balance that life better. So
that's very interesting. Rhymefest. You know, people talk about Kanye all the time. You've worked with him. Some people say he's a genius. Others say he's crazy. How'd you meet him?
The best way to be successful is to not look for somebody who is successful or famous, but look for someone who you share commonalities with, who is right next to you. The person right next to you is the one who you are going to become successful with, not the person who nobody's going to save your life. The cavalry isn't coming. 5 times out of 10, Dr. Dre or Jay-Z ain't going to sign you. It's just not going to happen. But there's somebody next to you who does beats, or who dances, or who sings, who you can collaborate with. You take over your block, your city, your state, and the world. You know, I do want to talk about genius. Kanye and I we've had these arguments. I mean, arguments where he'll just walk around like, I'm a genius. And I'm like, nah, dog, you're not really. You know, I mean, look, there's a lot of people around you. You know, people talk about James Brown, they don't talk about the Flames. They talk about Bob Marley, they don't talk about the Wailers. They talk about, you know what I mean? One thing, what I've discovered about genius, and what I've told them, genius is not a person. Genius is a spirit that comes and visits you when you have the right elements around you. And as quick as genius will visit you, it will leave you when you forget about your foundation. So what I want you to do, you listen to Kanye's music, the first 4 albums, and listen to his music lately and tell me, do you hear the same thing? Genius is not a person. Prince has been chasing Purple Rain since the 90s. Michael Jackson was chasing I'm Bad since I'm Bad. Like, since those days, I'm saying that. But Quincy Jones, why did he last so long? He knew who his guitarist was, who his drummer was, who his writer was, and all he had to do was say, add Mike, add Barry, add whoever, because the elements are here. The spirit of genius will become offended once you believe that you are it. I believe, now you may be able to perform those things that genius brought into your life at one time. And you must thank the spirits that genius ever visited you, because many people have never visited, because we can't build that wall around us of our infrastructure and our circle. If you want the spirit of genius to visit you, first of all, figure out who you are and what you're here for, your purpose. Second of all, find other people who know their purpose and work together in one community. You know how you know genius? Time will tell you.
Wow, that's heavy. What you say? Okay, there's an artist that young people don't know about, called Frankie Beverly. And he's got a great rhythm section, great band, what have you. And he's been around for a long time, doesn't have any new songs, and voice may be a little bit compromised now, but when he puts the microphone out to the audience, they sing the song for him, and they keep booking him over and over again. He turns it out, you know, at the Essence Festival and other places. I think that may be what you are describing.
It's a spirit.
It's a spirit. Wow, go ahead.
And the spirit visited at one point, but all I'm saying is that when you become lost in your own hubris, the spirit will leave you and visit Drake.
I'm trying to learn about African cultures, and I'm realizing that the mode of what an MC was ever since the 80s up until now has disappeared, and we have to start finding other modes of being an artist. And the thing that I relate myself most to right now is a griot. A griot does not get worse as it gets older like an MC does. Like MCs become less and less relevant the older they are. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way, but because we think of pop culture, we're looking for who's hot. You know what I'm saying? But I am never retiring from this. At 90, I will have rhymes for you, all right? And we will be rhyming about everything. We rhyme about the history of my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, I know my favorite MCs personally. And really good hip hop is about your block. It's about your community. And I don't need to blow up in order to make a living from this, because my community here in Washington, D.C., in Prince George's County, in Baltimore, knows that I will come to them and spit the truth about what we've been going through right now. And I will teach their children about what we've been going through right now and about the history of the art, the history of the culture. And that's not a fad. That will stay there. And I think the more we think of ourselves as in the griot mode, instead of just a pop star mode, we will be fine, because they will always need, people will always need more edification, more rhymes and stuff like that. So I think that's completely possible to do. Don't think you have to be Drake. Drake makes a whole bunch of money, but I know people. I tell people all the time, I learned art from gospel and go-go, all right? Which means I don't have to blow up. I know that here in DC, I know where the venues are where I can make a living if I work consistently, and that's all I want. If I blow up, that's fine, but we have to start understanding that the art and the community that surrounds our art does not have to be pop culture. It can be your community, people you live with. And I just want to make this other thing. Substantial hasn't rapped yet. I just like to point that out.
I'm about to get him. He's been here so cool, and he's talked to us, did a few beats and all of that, but it's your turn, baby.
Okay, so while the mic is nice, I feel like I don't need it. So this is what we're gonna do, right? It goes, peacemaker, son of a violent man, dream chaser, raised on divided land with thieves, rapists, treated like I'm not a man. I behave like rebels without a plan. Step false, get off by a coward's hand, life shorter than an hour hand. But the least of our worries ain't the Taliban. I'm hoping that the pass an assault rifle ban, cause most guns where I'm from aren't licensed, fam. The ones that are usually held tight in hands by the cops and so-called authority figures. Cringe at our black skin while calling this nigga, but 6 letters can't define me. I'm so much bigger. As I walk, most people can't ignore the rigor. Back and talk, by display is so much bigger. Match the art, the blind just ignore the picture. Grab the talk, but of course my portion's bitter. That or starve, cause round here they don't deliver. Grab the court, rather be engulfed in liquor. Lack support, and I wasn't born a winner. An afterthought, these know-it-alls won't consider a man of God who sit upon throne or with a scratching claw to reach the very point I'm sitting. After all, that's what fuel the poems I'm spitting. So I'ma take this pain I've been dealt with and use it. This shit can't reach the stars if I don't fuel it. Without my music and art, I'd be useless. I always knew what I had to do. So.
Up with hope, down with dope. If you believe, you can achieve. Yes, you do.
I am somebody.
Now, you know, I did a song with me, Common, and the Red. We did a song together. And I ain't put it out yet, but he get ready to do the video. We gonna do the video at Operation Push. Because he was rapping on my song. And he did the I Am Somebody.
Did he?
Yeah, he did it. Did you do it? Tell him something else in your mind, Red.
So how did it go?
Nah, you don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear this.
How did it go?
You want to hear it?
Yeah.
I do a verse, but you may not like it. So, basically, you know, it's like, the last year of King's life, everybody hated him. They assassinated him. Then we celebrated him. Yeah, that's what them kids did. And guess who sold his legacy? It was his kids. They made us think about fame or integrity, friends or celebrity. Then they shined the men in black light and stole your memory. Then they tried to men in black light and stole your memory. I put my whole soul for an infinity. It didn't last forever, but it had all the amenities. Don't let these haters take your energy. Come on, gangster, that's your energy. These people ain't your friends, they your frenemies. We can make the whole world bow to our symphony. And then that's when Rev comes.
Okay, Rev, how did it go? Can't nobody say it like you. Can't nobody say it like you. Respect me. Protect me.
Never neglect me.
Never neglect me.
My mind.
Can't
conceive it.
Can't conceive it.
My heart.
Can't
believe it.
I
know.
I
can achieve it.
I can achieve
Stop
it.
the violence.
Stop the violence.
Children.
Stop the
Stop the
children.
violence.
Stop the violence.
Children.
Stop the children.
Hope. Alive. Hope.
Keep hope.
Alive. Hope.
Keep hope.
Alive. And scream.
Wow, our legendary rapper. Ooh. You know, this is so wonderful. You know, really, and I enjoy this. People, you know, it's just great. Now, how do we encourage these young people to use the talent? You know, oftentimes kids come up thinking, I can sing, and they go off in the bathroom, in the closet, but they never share with anybody because they think people won't believe that they have talent. How can we encourage young people to do what they feel?
Belief and perseverance.
Perseverance.
Belief and perseverance. My difficulty, just to piggyback off of what you were saying, was a little bit different than the guys. Because for a female, equal opportunity is just, in this industry, it's almost impossible. And you will hear 20 no's for every one yes. You know, and you have to believe enough in yourself and in everything that you create to persevere every time. You know, and that's the hardest part. If you can do that, you know, if you believe in a thing so much, it's not that difficult to convince the rest of the world to believe in it too. But it starts with you.
Wow. You know what? Each time that we come, we find that after young people sit in the audience for a while, they get inspired, and somebody will say, I can sing, or I can dance, and we encourage them to come on up and share their talents, and they really want to do it in front of you guys, because they want you all to see them, because they won't be like you. They won't do what you do. So, here's what. We've got some talented young people in the room today. Some are singers. They don't all rap, they sing. They dance, they do all kind of, you know, things. And they, all right, here it is. Come on up with me.
Hey guys, how everybody doing today? Everybody clap. How you guys doing today? I want to thank the panelists for being here. And even though it's not my program, I really appreciate that they're here. Just being in front of these great people. Y'all, let me give you a little information about myself. Hey y'all, I'm an actor, comedian here in Philadelphia. In Philadelphia. Well, I just came out with my first book. It's called Watch Me. Basically, based on my life, me trying to break into the entertainment business. I worked with Denzel Washington. I was on Law and Order, the new Ninja Turtle movie. I just went on a tour of the capital of the U.S. And guys, I'm telling you, it's hard out here. You have to practice. If you want to be an actor, singer, dancer, wherever your talent is, you have to practice. I want to thank this great MC right here. This great MC right here. And everybody that came out today. Can I share a monologue? I said, can I share a monologue? All right. Jamal Manigault. My name is Jamal Manigault, guys, if you didn't catch that. Okay. I know you're one of the most popular girls in school, and you scarcely know how to pronounce my name or use proper grammar. But I've had a crush on you since the first day you ever even came to my school, all the way to second period. But you don't have to be shy anymore, all right? Remember a couple years ago. This was in 2nd grade, Mr. Souplander's class. I gave you a note. It was, I can't lie, it was basically a love note. My friend said that you tore the note up in disgust. But I just know that you were just trying to rip up confetti, celebrating our newfound life. Like I said, you don't have to be shy anymore. When I express my love to you, it's gonna be great. I'm telling you, we can go on a honeymoon, we can go on a cruise, family cruise, we can go to Paris, we can do anything you want to do. All right? And guys, please, please. All right, listen. Will you go to prom with me? Wait. By the rolling of your eyes, is that a yes? Thank you, everybody. Like I said, my name is Jamal Manigo. You can find me on Instagram at Jamal_Manigo. Thank you.
Big round of applause. That was so wonderful. Okay. Do we have any singers in the audience while Reverend Jackson is coming up for a moment here?
Can I call up somebody?
Yes.
I would like to call up my rhythm section and my security, my management, my sons, Olu and Dela. They're in the back. I want to ask them to show you some of their hip hop skills.
Okay, all right, wait.
We got a microphone.
Okay.
Check it, got 2 sons, I'm about to have a daughter. I'm up here freestyling with Maxine Waters. Check it, and this is how it's gonna be. Got you all here smiling at the CBC. Check it, and yo, Rhymefest is one of my mentors. We got y'all down here at the convention center. Yo, and my success is not financial, but sometimes I do it for the kids. That makes it substantial. Check it. And I do this for my father and my mom and all the lady MCs like my homegirl Ra. Yo, and Bomani is the man. If y'all loving this music, everybody clap your hands. And give it up for Olu on the beatbox, y'all.
Reverend Jackson, we have a member of Congress who came in the room just a few minutes ago. She's from Brooklyn. I have to be careful when I talk about New Yorkers, about exactly where they're from, because you know they get all messed up if you say it wrong. No, I'm not from Harlem, I'm from Brooklyn. All right, so she has been leading Reverend Jackson in working with women and young women in particular, with Sojourner Truth organization that she helped to found and to lead, and she's been dealing with some young people. I think Dash was up in your office yesterday talking with him. Come up and say just a word before Reverend Jackson raps for us.
Only my sister, the Honorable Maxine Waters, could bring together the young, gifted, and black. Let's give it up for our sister right there. She has been a true sister, a mentor to me. I want to acknowledge my colleague, Congresswoman Gwen Moore of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Come on, young people, hello. And I'm Yvette Clark from Brooklyn, that's always in the house. I wanted to just say to our panelists, thank you so much for sharing your insight into the industry and what it takes for our young people to come into their own. I like the fact that you share with them that it's about their spirit and not what is being portrayed out there. You all have to be your own individuals. You're unique. God made you special. There's no one else like you. So you can't be Kanye West. You got to be who you are. And we encourage you. We are here to support you in whatever endeavors you choose to go through. I share with people all the time, I was born just after the civil rights movement. So I'm not quite civil rights boomer, and I'm not quite Gen X, but I'm all the way hip hop. God bless you and enjoy the rest of the day.
Somebody that caught a big round of applause. And thank our members of Congress for dropping in and being with us today. Give them a big round of applause. You know, they say that we all folks who are all stiff and we don't know how to relate and that we just don't appreciate young people and the millennials and all of that. But you see, it's different, right? Right? Yeah. Clap your hands. No one, I don't care whose name you can call, who has loved us more, who has sacrificed more, who had his continues to work for us and about us, no matter what is said or what is done. He's out here registering young people to vote. He was at the Blue State yesterday up at Howard University. This is without support. He has to figure out a way to keep organization going, despite the fact he doesn't get the support that he needs to get. He's been with me for 2 days now. We've had a great time. He was with us this morning when we were talking about closing that wealth gap. And I didn't expect that he was going to come over and spend this kind of time with us this afternoon, but here he is. Give Reverend Jackson a big welcome and a round of applause. Let's hear it for Reverend Jessie Jackson.
When I was a little bit younger, I would read the book of Matthew, and it was always confusing to me because the first chapter is for the two generations of lineage from David to Jesus. And it just begat, X begat, Y begat. And the message was not in the prose, the message was in the lineage itself. It's 1,000 years between Jesus and David, and 2,000 between him and Moses. And so when the Jewish people could speak of 3,000 years and quote each other, that meant whatever they did, their lineage was not broken. I'm trying to say something to artists today, whatever your persuasion may be, that according to the stage you're in, the sum total of our gifts must be used to break that shackle of politics. So we live in our faith, inspired by the Spirit. We live under the law. We live in our faith, inspired by the Spirit, under the law. For 246 years enslaved, no matter what your gifts may have been, you may have been a singer, or a dancer, or a preacher, or an art, whatever your gift may be. The only thing that really mattered was to change the law, 1865. Whatever maneuver you had going, that's the only thing that mattered. We came out of Jim Crow in 54. What mattered was the law. What artists have done at their best, they've been a source of inspiration and interpretation to the struggle for emancipation. We knew very little about Jamaica, the Caribbean island, except Harry Belafonte. He used his stage to teach and to inspire. Sidney Poitier used that stage to teach and to inspire. I remember Dr. King, I remember Johnny Conyers tried his best to get people to recognize the King holiday. And he did his best. You know, John tried. We'd go out there, Maxine, a few of us on January 15th. It'd be cold, and it looked crazy. It wouldn't be enough. Couldn't get any press at all. Stevie Wonder did Happy Birthday, Martin Luther King. It took off and became a cultural phenomenon. He hooked the culture into the law. We were in the riot explosion in the 60s, and we were trying to figure out how to express ourselves. Aretha said it was RESPCT. It hooked in the culture with the law. And so in some sense, artists on November the 8th, 100% of all people will vote Everybody will vote November 8th.
That's right.
Those who vote will vote. Those who don't vote will vote. If you don't vote because you can't vote, that's wrong. If you don't vote because you don't understand what the stakes are, that's wrong. You're going to vote for Hillary or Trump on that day. Say those who want to deny us the right to vote, hope our spirits are broken, we will not use that vote. But don't be so arrogant as to think that Mandela spent 27 years in jail because he was stupid. Don't think Dr. King gave up his blood because he didn't understand. Each generation has the obligation to plant seeds that grow trees under whose shade they may never sit. To keep the hope alive. You know, the last thing I would say, Maxine, this touches me so much. I think maybe one of the highest tributes as I look back across my life that I've had in all of my life of work. I was with President Barack Obama one day down at the gym, and we never really worked together as such. And he said, I was shooting in Columbia. We were there that night, debating Mondale and Hart. And I was trying to get them to deal with South Africa, because no one wanted to deal with apartheid at that time, neither party. He said, as a student, I was in the audience. And I looked at you debate the two of them, and I said to myself, this can happen. As I saw that debate and said, this can, I never had the dream of running for president. I'm an organizer. Circumstances led me to where I got to. This, if somehow in your art you utter a word or a sound or something that sows a seed that allows the next generation to say this can happen, you'll have done your job. I want to thank you so much for honoring Sister Wallace with your presence and her for her ongoing vision, for her determination. Another big hand for Maxine, please. One of my children, who's a young rapper, artist, singer, is Santa Master. She's a rapper, singer. Give her a hand.
I started writing for a film I'm working on right now that talks about the civil rights movement. It's called Stand Up and Sit In. I am tired and I am weak. This fight for freedom has got me on my knees. Some may give in, some may quit, but I think it's time for me to live. I will stand up and fight this war. If I choose silence, what am I breathing for? Oh, I will stand up and sit in, because my brothers and sisters deserve better existence. No more injustice, no more pain, no more telling me that I am not the same.